I bet y'all thought I was gonna be late. It is 7 o'clock on the dot. 7 o'clock on the dot. Look at that. This is called character development, my friends. Thank you all for stopping by and tuning in. As is customary, everything is probably going to go wrong within the first 2 minutes, so we're gonna stand here and I'm just gonna sit here and look pretty and do a little dance or something until everybody, or until I can get confirmation from everyone that everything isn't screwed up. Well,
I can hear you.
I say, are we doing good for once?
I think so.
Hey, I'll take an I think so.
Try to get to chat. It doesn't work.
Oh, I don't know if my chat's working either.
It is not, because I just posted and nothing popped up.
Oh, now it is.
Okay.
How's everyone doing today? We got, what? We know half of HHN now? Including Five Nights at Freddy's, which isn't really officially. Yay! Look at all that. Are we popping up on stream? Sweet, and we're popping up. All right. For the first time, I think everything is working. So knock on wood. I guess that's what I get for not preparing. Anyways, hi. What's up? Hi, Amanda. Thanks for watching me from the bed. Welcome, Janice. Hi, Vanessa. Hi, Bestie. Miss you. So, how are we all doing today? I guess we're going to have to do another stream here on Friday, since it seems like we're going to be getting a full week or a full dump of announcements this week for HHN of all the originals. But hey, I'm not going to complain about that. Lots of exciting stuff so far this week. Well, in the last week, I suppose, if you include Spooky Empire for El Artista. Oh, I'm so excited. Yes, Pinhead Larry. Unfortunately, I'm a little too hairy to be Pinhead Larry right now, but, you know, maybe the time will come when Pinhead Larry will make a return. I just can't confirm. Hi, Mom. Thanks for stopping by. They already got this on the wiki. Let's go. But yes, I am very excited for... I broke everything. I'm very excited for everything that's been announced so far. So I guess I spoke too soon about everything. Oh. Okay, I think we're good. I'm so excited for this year. Everything I've heard, I'm very stoked for. The two originals, obviously, are going to be towards the top of my list. But I'm very curious to see how Fallout turns out. And I'm very intrigued, I guess, by Jason. I don't know how we should do this. Should we go through each and everything? I guess I got this spec map up. We can take a look at. Thank you, Horror Night Nightmares, for keeping the speculation alive. And, excuse me, I'm doing all this stuff. And I suppose, with the exception of IPs, we're going to know what all of this means by the end of the week. So that's awesome. But I guess let's kind of talk about what has been officially confirmed. I guess we should start with today's announcement, Pinhead Larry featuring Hatchet and Chains. Oh wait, I didn't say that. I'm not in that. But what intrigues me the most about this is the lava aspect. So I don't know if y'all read or saw the media description for it. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I've also been here on my computer since 5 a.m. so I've been here for 14 hours and I'm a little tired. So I did not have everything prepared as per usual, but that's okay. Also, I am a little bit salty that it's not cyborgs, like just a little bit. Suppose I'll be okay with it. But I'm still a little bit sad that, about no cyborgs. But yes, in this old west town, all hell is breaking loose. Red hot lava demons are trying to possess everyone, melting everything within their path. And what's interesting about this to me is it kind of seems like a mashup of like 3 different haunts that I don't really think or I wouldn't consider that great overall. So I hope this fixes them. Sky, welcome! Woohoo! Thanks, Sky, for the amazing thumbnail artwork as well. I've never looked more beautiful in my entire life. But again, I don't know anything. I'm just speculating like all you guys are. But the vibes that I'm getting from Hatchet and Chains are very much like a mashup of Havoc Derailed, The Fallen, and Ghost Town, Curse of Lightning Gulch, or 2004 original, whatever floats your boat. And none of those haunts particularly stood out to me in a positive way. Hi, Cheeny Butt. You gonna come be on stream? Yeah, hi. None of those stood out to me in a necessarily positive way. There are some good parts, sure, but overall, kind of like, a little bit mid. So, what I'm excited to see about Hatchet and Chains doing is potentially rectifying that. You know, we talk about red hot lava demons. The one thing that I instantly think of when I hear that is Dueling Dragons from however many years ago that was, 2023. So, let me see here. Boop, 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 boop. My computer was being stupid all day, so I don't know how anything is. Oh, somebody just said something. Boop, 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 boop. Maybe it's also because I was working on this section today. Boop, 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 boop. I'm gonna turn the audio all the way off. PC, please don't break. But Dueling Dragon stuff. Oh, you're good, Sky. I appreciate that you popped in at all. Hello, Skull and Spooky. You are all good. Hey, Friday the 13th remake, underrated. All I'm saying. But anyways, going back to Hatchet and Chains, I hear lava demons, and I talked about 2 years ago when I saw this stuff in Dueling Dragons, when I saw how they kind of use these, I don't know what you would call them, light sticks, vines, whatever. I said those were going to come back very, very, in a big way at some point at HHN. I just wasn't sure how. And I think we're going to get more of this choreographed fire stuff. I mean, you've kind of seen it in like Ghostbusters with the ecto rays or whatever they're called. I'm losing my credit or my card for calling them that. And of course the Windy special of burning that's in every single haunt ever, which I'm pretty sure is right up here. But I am very excited to see kind of how this turns out. Is it going to be big in a sprung tent? Yeah, there you go, the Windy special, fire stuff. Or is it going to just kind of, Ayo Klondike, what's up? What's up, my guy? Thanks for stopping by. But, you know, I'm curious to see what kind of scope they can accomplish in the sprung tent, because, you know, sometimes you get something like Wicked Growth, where it's absolutely massive, and you're like, wow, how did they fit this in the tent? And the other times you get Descendants of Destruction, where it's like 4 scenes, and then you're at the end, and you're like, oh, that was it? So, I'm very curious to see what goes on, but I think that we are in for something super exciting with that, especially given the Western ghost townish vibes. I would bet on there being some sort of train crash as well. That's just too big of a part of Western iconography to be overlooked. But I mean, if y'all hadn't done Ghost Town in 2016, let me see if I can get a few pictures of the scope that I'm curious to see how it gets pulled off. Any minute now. I feel you, Skull and Spooky. My timing is always off on everything. Oh, it be like that. It be like that. Let's go! More people! Welcome, welcome, everyone. So yeah, Ghost Town. Massive Western sets. A lot of strobes. But the thing that I think gets me about all of this is none of these 3 haunts that I'm getting from Hatchet and Chains managed to be that serious. They all were kind of like campy, but not in a good way. I guess you could argue that The Fallen was more self-serious and darker, but I don't think it was executed to the point that it could be. And I will say as well, I am a little curious with this being in a tent if we are going to get any sort of like acrobatic demons or any type of like above scares. Hi, Chino. Yeah. You want to say hi? Nope, we're going away? Okay. Because I can't really recall any above scares that have been in the or in the sprung tents in the past. Assuming that's where this is, but from what I've seen and heard, that seems to be where it will be. I know in Scarecrow and a few others we've had like Wicked Growth as well. We've had the people who are like leaning over the top and they reach down. But I'm curious if these are all going to just be ground demons or if we're going to get something else. Again, if we're doing the Havoc derailed train scene somewhere, I would thank you for the Chino, Amanda. If we're doing the Havoc derailed, I would almost bet on there being some sort of bodies hanging out of that train and or that we're having that reach down scare. I would put $3 on it. Anyways, what of these four are y'all most excited for? Fallout, Jason, Universe with the worst logo ever, Hatchet and Chains, or El Artista? Hey, I said that right. Because I think y'all know El Artista is going to be my jam. That's where I'm at. I'm very, very, very excited about that one. To me, it's kind of giving the best of 2011 vibes. I almost said 2021. Ugh, yikes. That was not a good year for me. But all of the things that I love about 2011, I'm seeing in these renderings so far. I'm getting very much like Edgar Allan Poe, Nevermore vibes from some of the architecture. The mask is very much reminding me of the Telltale Heart scene. But also The Forsaken with the Spanish influences, and theoretically that will be incorporated into the manor as well. I love these dudes. I don't know if it's because the mask here kind of looks like the mask guys in Museum last year, which I thought were highly underrated, but I love the way this looks. Like, I'm very excited to see, like, the architecture looks very much like Monstros, much more brighter, maybe even a little bit of Fiesta de Chupacabra, but I like how bright it looks so far. And then, oof, we are in for a treat. Dollhouse of the Damned vibes a little bit too. Now, something that I'm curious about is how many of these old scenes are they going to bring back? I guess I shouldn't say old scenes. How many of these scares that we haven't seen for a while might make a comeback? I know they already kind of was mentioned during the Spooky Empire preview that there's going to be people coming out of paintings, kind of like what I would assume was like Insidious the Further last year. But, you know, Legendary Truth in 2010 and, oh crap, I just forgot the other one. I don't remember where else. Oh, Dead End in 2012. Both had some very interesting type of haunted house ghost type scares. And I know it's not going to be the same entity as, or I know it's a different type of entity than what is theoretically in this haunt, but I would love to see things like that where you go, holy crap, I've never seen that before. How did that happen? Like in Legendary Truth where the freaking ghost was swimming through the floor. Or in Dead End with the tunnel. Aw, nuts. Nuts, nuts, nuts. Colby, what's up? Yeah, Jason. I'm honestly very excited for Jason. I was very underwhelmed with Freddy vs. Jason, especially Jason's section was the only good part of it, but I am very excited for that one. I have absolutely no idea what to expect for the Wyatt 6, so I'm going to in that one with a completely open mind and almost treating it like it's an original, which I guess kind of works out for me since originals normally hit the spot better. Yeah, Phelan, I saw that it was Dylan Kolath who did El Artista, and he's on the up and up. Like, I haven't fully committed to making an idea about this, but a lot of what I'm seeing that's kind of changing the landscape or evolving HHN, whatever you want to call it, is the evolution of ideas that have been done in the past. I kind of talked about it there with Hatchet and Chains. It's pretty much 3 haunted houses we've already seen, just kind of mashed up together with potentially some technology from other haunts that haven't been utilized. You know, what is Dylan Kolath doing with Blood Moon and Dead Man's Pier? He's just innovating and expanding on ideas that have already been done before. He's taking what has worked about HHN for the most part, and he's finding a way to make it work even better, which I kind of dig. It's not so much, you know, trying to reinvent the wheel as much as it seems like he's just trying to make it, you know, as good as it possibly can be. I couldn't think of a better analogy, but overall, I think Dylan Kolath is good. And speaking of which, that reminds me that we've got that awesome conservatory theme for the entirety of the event this year, which, wow, I miss immersive, cohesive themes. I'm so glad that they're coming back. And I think it's funny, too, that they were even teased here in the announcement videos for the IPs. The conservatory was right here the whole time, looking us in the eyes. Yeah, El Artista's gonna be scary. Pepper's Ghost, I'm curious to see how they do it. I hope it's not the same Pepper's Ghost setup we always see. Also, since we're on the topic of Jason now, I can't remember if I read this anywhere, so somebody please correct me if I'm wrong or inform me, because I didn't see it in my quick research before the stream. But I do believe with all the Friday the 13th lawsuits that have been going on, that the original composer, of the Jason series is not a part of it anymore. And to me, that's kind of interesting. You know, I was thinking at first, you know, I'm going to be super excited for Jason. You know, his score isn't as iconic as Halloween and Michael Myers, but just a good old-fashioned bloody slasher with some super cool outdoor scenes, and I was so excited. But then I got a little bit less excited because you take away the creepy Jason music. Is Jason as effective? Arguably, yes, because most people don't read into things as much as I possibly do. But I think the music and atmosphere is going to be a huge a huge aspect of Jason, and it's going to be kind of weird if it's, you know, a brand new score, a brand new, hi Chino, if it's music we aren't familiar with. Doesn't mean it will be bad, but, you know, it's not as recognizable instantly. Yeah, I was hoping there's going to be a Jason X scene, Colby. I was looking in all the press releases to see if it said anything, but everything I have found so far about... I'll see if I can find anything here real quick. Everything I've found about Jason Universe has just mentioned the boring, been there, done that type of stuff. I shouldn't say boring, but, you know, the expected summer camp, cabins, forest, woods. Yeah. Vengeance tour throughout the summer camp to see where it all began, from the creaking floorboards of Jason's ramshackle cabin to the decaying main lodge and eerie forest that offers no refuge for his victims. Which doesn't make me think that we're going to see anything from Jason X, but around every corner, fans will be inundated with the infamous killer moments from Jason's heinous homicidal career as he taunts and stalks his victims. Ugh. So maybe we won't actually go to space in Jason Universe, but if we get at least some type of reference to Jason Takes Manhattan or Jason X just for the meme, I will very, very much like it. Is Jason Universe the cousin of Steven Universe? Yeah, bro. They just wrote him out of the show because he wouldn't say anything, and they're like, all right, you're not funny enough for this, so now he's shunned. He's not even going to be in the spin-off either. It kind of sucks for him, but get good. Skill issue. Now, Fallout's another one that I'm moderately curious about. How many of y'all went through Alien versus Predator back in the day? In 2014, at least in Orlando. Hollywood's was a bit different, but I guess it did kind of share the same type of scenic design, at least at the beginning, at least for what I'm thinking about. But like, let's see if I can find a good, like the Weyland-Yutani lab was so cool, and I want to see that in Fallout. I want to see stuff that looks like the laboratory. Like, I want to see the vaults kind of look like this, and you know, it may not look like much from this angle, but when the lights are off and there's a mirror at the end that is making it look longer and there's just fog and junk everywhere, it is so atmospheric. I'm just gonna be really upset if this ends up feeling just like The Last of Us part 17. Yeah, they had to cut the subplot. They had to cut the serial killer subplot out of Steven Universe so we could actually feel something lame. Rigged. I will also admit, I have not finished Fallout. We're on what? Episode 3? Episode 4? So. It's been a hot minute. I have commitment issues when it comes to finishing TV shows. Not by choice. But so I can't fully speak yet. Nick's probably going to be in the chat like, you should know more about Fallout. And he's probably going to flame me, which is rightfully deserved. But, you know, with this being in potentially a tent, well, let's put it this way. It's not going to be in Fast and Furious. So it's going to be in some type of bigger location, which should mean puppets or cool stuff, or, you know, should have the space to do these big expansive ideas. You know, I'm also kind of curious as well, now that I think about it, to see, yeah, there he goes. I don't know if this would actually be something that fits into the story or not, so y'all can tell me if I'm an idiot or not, but the beginning of The Darkest Deal, where you kind of had that bridge going off into the distance, and you had that big skybox, I think something like that for Fallout would be pretty cool. Maybe as you're exiting the vault or entering the vault as the facade. I don't know. Something like that where you got this just endless scenic vista. I think that would be so cool. All right, what do y'all want to talk about now? I think I have pretty much covered most of my thoughts here on all of this stuff. And like I said, considering the fact that it seems like we're going to be getting more announcements this week, I'm going to, I should say, not cut this stream short, but I think we're going to have plenty more to talk about later this week. So I'm planning on doing, you know, maybe a part 2, if you want to call it that, on Friday, so we can kind of see where the cards have fallen with everything. Welcome back, Skull and Spooky. Yeah, pitch black, but the pitch black transition hallway in Bugs was like the best part of that haunt. Hi, Aaron. Thank you for supporting Nick and flaming me about Fallout. They need to have a good vault moment, probably an entrance, vault tech lore, and yeah. I agree with all of that. I'm also curious to see when we're start seeing themed food stands pop up. Nuka-Cola, Rad Roach meat, those are things from Fallout, right? I can't get flamed for those. I feel like those are going to be there, and that would be awesome. If we could get a Nuka-Cola like souvenir cup, that'd be awesome. Or like souvenir drink. Yeah, Terrifier announcement on Friday. That's why I was thinking potentially, because, you know, we've got, what, 3 more originals technically, in theory, if we keep the 5-5 split that we have in the past. And it doesn't seem like there has been any shakeups or anything in doesn't seem like there's been any shakeups in the rumor mill here recently, so we'll see. I will say, if Terrifier does get announced, color me shocked. I never thought Orlando would bring Terrifier to the event. If it does get announced by Friday, we'll talk about it a little bit more then, when it actually when it will actually be confirmed and more relevant. But I don't know, man. Yeah, I want to see what they come up with for Nuka-Cola. Like, I know that you can buy it over the counter. I know you can buy it at certain places, but I'm curious, like, contractually, if they can sell that or if they have to make a new mix or what. So I guess let's look at the spec map here real quick and try and figure out what else could potentially be coming before we get to the super special 6 billion announcement. Also, my flash drives decided to be all screwy wooey, so my sound effects and Stream Deck and Premiere all got screwy wooey earlier, so that was fun. So you just get to listen to me talk now. Excuse me. Better out than in, they always say. Ha 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 ha. And I think it's confirmed that 24 is only going to have one haunt because of rocket construction, it seems like. So I'm intrigued to see how the need to stop droning. I'm intrigued to see how the queues work this year with rocket construction. Yeah, if they don't do a s'mores dish for Friday the 13th, they dumb. Agreed. I feel like they will, though. Well, fine. If you're gonna be poopy like that, computer, we're just gonna do that. So I can't remember what is on the rumor mill for the rest of these. Obviously, Hatchet and Chains has been confirmed. Was this Urban Inferno? The Urban Inferno with the roots and the scythes? I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. An underground gothic metropolis of hell. How similar would that be to El Artista or Hatchet and Changed? I don't know. But I'm curious. Oh yeah, and theoretically Lagoon Show is coming back, which I don't remember ever being super thrilled with, but I'm just not really a theme park entertainment type of person. Sounds bad to say, but I rarely get engaged during those shows. So it's a good thing that it's a people eater, and there are people who are going to get a lot out of it and enjoy it, and I'm happy for that. But for me personally, I'm just happy that it'll get people out of the streets so I can go in more haunts. And I'm also interested about this roller skating chainsaw horde outside of Mel's. I don't know if y'all have ever been to the West Coast and seen the sliders out there. Does Hollywood have sliders? I can't remember. Yeah, I think Hollywood has sliders, but I know Knott's. I know Knott's has them out the bejesus, but I definitely. I don't know. Do roller skates work better than sliders?
No.
Can HHN like just, do they not want to do a slider scare school on the East Coast? Is it because it rains so much? By that logic, I don't feel like roller skates would be that much better anyways. Can I? Oh, I've lost in the chat. Yo, I would go through the failed rocket weld line. That would be awesome. The new queue line is actually going to be just Carnival Graveyard 2, and they're just going to kind of implode Rip Ride Rocket, and you're just going to have to like walk around it to get to the haunts. And then they'll just put like some fog and some characters, and then they're like, woo, 11th house, and it's outdoors, woo! So I don't know too much about the Toys house. I haven't been keeping up on the spec because I've been working on projects as best as I can. But yes, if it is abandoned toys in the attic, very much like Dollhouse of the Damned. You know, I know they talked about during the Spooky Empire panel that this is going to be the most cohesive year in a while, and the theme of the year is immersion and all that, and everything is kind of connected to this gothic theme. I don't necessarily know how you connect all of the IPs to it without a little bit of deeper thought, But if we are actually getting that, old school kind of haunted house vibe where we have, a classic haunted house or haunted manor, got some type of graveyard, got some type of toys, like it seems like we're leaning towards maybe the staple type of phobias throughout the year, and it does seem like it is going to be connected. The question is, will toys in the attic look that much different than whatever our El Artista pulls off with that horrendous manner? And I say horrendous as a compliment. The other issue, or I shouldn't say issue, the other question about toys is, how scary are toys? I'm not saying that to be a doubter, but a lot of Dollhouse of the Damned had either shorter in stature scares or they had absolutely massive caricatures, and there wasn't really any in between. So if we do get more toys, which route do they go? Is it just going to look like people in costumes on Halloween? Are we actually going to get some like puppeted toys? Are we going to get some stuff like Krampus 2016 where we had the little what was it, the angel puppet and the elf little push-pulley thingy-majig? I am curious if What's-His-Face is going to be the icon from El Artista. I already forgot his name. Sergio Navarro. I think I saw that Mike said Spooky Empire that there isn't really an icon and it's kind of up to interpretation. And I think that's kind of how we're going to start seeing HHN for the foreseeable future. One quote that I didn't watch the whole thing, but one thing that kind of struck out to me was how Mike talked about that, they want to make Jesus, I can't talk. They want to make houses and they want to make haunts for the diehards, but at the same time, the casual fans are what make money, or the casual fans help the event make money and help the event thrive. And they have to keep that in mind when they're creating haunts. There needs to be a couple of haunts at least where the casuals can come in, pound some specialty drinks, go through 1 or 2 haunts for fun, and then head out. Because that's what a lot of the money at HHN is. And with that being said, do icons really have that big of a draw anymore? Obviously, personally for me, and most everyone that's in this chat, they probably do. But, if we're already getting something like this, where we're getting this cohesive, immersive Gothic theme that ties everything together, do we really need an icon? Should we just be happy and thankful that we got some cohesion? I don't know. That's just kind of me musing right now. I did see the Scare Zone leak, I guess technically it was. But I don't remember the specifics on that. I will say, though, conservatory at the front makes perfect sense. It's always the theme, or the generic theme of whatever the year is. The Vampire Masquerade, I'm digging. Everybody knows one of my favorite Scare Zones of all time is 7 from 2011, where there was 3 different sets throughout the night, and the characters evolved from being nice and innocent to grotesque and horrible. And I have been hearing murmurs potentially that that's going to be a concept explored in the Vampire Masquerade. Infected City in New York sounds generic, and I can't remember. New York is New York, no matter. Mike talked about the Spooky Empire, how Studios is a great park for HHN because they can make you forget about the location you're in because they can so heavily theme the lands. And for the most part, that's true to an extent, but not for New York. No matter what they do in New York, it's always going to look like New York to me. So anything, I think that severely limits the amount of themes that they can do convincingly in that. But kitties in Central Park, sign me up. Even though apparently it's like weird human, half human, half children, half cat stuff, like, sold. Chino, you want to come be on stream yet? Nope, you just want to sit over there and scream? Yeah, got it. Okay.
Mom.
I need to get back to chat because I haven't Red. I've seen Horror Makeup Show. I will see Theme Park Entertainment once, and I will not complain about seeing it a second time. It's just normally not something that I go out of my way to enjoy unless it's something that I very much enjoy. Like Horror Makeup Show would be one of those things because I find it to actually be engaging and not just, 20 minutes of copy-paste plot.
Or I force you to go to it.
Or you've never forced me to go to it.
Not horror makeup, but a show.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, and mileage may vary on how much everyone liked Revenge of the Chucky. Chucky part was great. The toy costumes were a little bit hit or miss for me. Yeah, like you got Skull and Colby, like you said, like Boris is technically an icon, Major Sweets is an icon. I think at this point, icons have always just been marketing tools. Even in the early 2000s with the most iconic ones, Caretaker, Director, Jack, Storyteller, they were all just kind of icons to tie everything in and make Universal seem like more than your regular Halloween event. Now that HHN is what it is, they don't need that draw. They don't need an icon. Yes, the diehards like us are going to look for it where we can, and they're going to deliver as much as possible, but I don't think necessarily designing an entire event around an icon is the direction the event should be taking or needs to take anymore. 2002 was kind of a weird year because it was the Caretaker, but it was all kind of IP haunts, even though they were original takes on IPs. Maximum Carnage, Jurassic Park Evolution, Fear Factor, I can't remember the other one, Scream House, and one other IP that is slipping my mind. I'm losing my card. Oh, Scary Tales. That's a fake IP, but anyways, but back in the day, in 2002, contracts and rights and all this stuff wasn't that big of an idea. You could say, oh yeah, the Caretaker possessed all of the superheroes in Marvel or all the villains in Marvel, and now they're killing the heroes. Like, you could get away with that. Like, now we couldn't have something like, the artist from El Artista saw a painting of a clown and it brought Terrifier into the universe, and that's how Terrifier's at the event. That's how Art the Clown shows up. Like, I don't think you can do it with IPs. So again, I think we get things like Sinister and Surreal, Boris, we just talked about Major Sweets, where we kind of get these unofficial icons. We get backstories. We find more about them through the unmasking tours and the secrets that are hidden there. But it's not going to be an overt thing to try and sell tickets and make the event, marketable, I guess is the term. At least for me. Yeah, I'm curious to see how FNAF plays out. I don't know if it's going to draw in more crowds or if it's just going to be kind of like Blumhouse, where the people who are already going are still going to go no matter what. And it's just kind of a quote-unquote filler. I mean, I guess technically it is Blumhouse, but you know what I mean. The horrors of Blumhouse mashup haunts. Because the few people I know who last year were like all over wanting Five Nights at Freddy's to come to HHN, when it got announced this year, were like, cool. And like, didn't care that much, or we're just kind of like, oh, I knew it would happen eventually, and just kind of brushed it off. Ooh, I like that idea, Skull and Spooky, about the statues in the conservatory. That'd be awesome. I would like that, actually. Hey, Hollywood might have some good stuff, dude. It's been on the upswing for like 3 years, and we saw potentially having a lower lot scare zone this year, so maybe there's going to be some cool stuff. I'm remaining optimistic as I do every year. Will, I'm so excited for this year. So am I, my guy. So am I. We'll see if there's any more podcasts that kind of talk about any of the original haunts. I have a feeling there will be. But again, I'm happy that we're getting good original content. Do I want icons? Yes, but the event's grown. The team has grown. The team has changed. you know, and that's just the way it is. And I think looking at the positives of not having an icon, or I should say not expecting an icon every single year, is a good direction to go. I wish HHN had a chaperone policy too, or I wish there was like shock collars that if you were under 13 you got one, or under 18 even, you got one as you entered the park. Then everyone had a remote, and if you were ever annoying, you just zap them. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, Falon, is I'm worried that there's going to be so many 12-year-olds just there for FNAF and not anything else. Granted, I was, 12? How old was I when I first went to HHN? 15. Yes, I was 15, so I guess I wasn't that young. But I hope that FNAF becomes a gateway to horror for some people and introduces new fans, and isn't the exact opposite where that's all that the FNAF people only care about FNAF, or even the Terrifier people only care about Terrifier. Hi, Chino. I know I'm going to be there the first weekend. I don't know after that, but I'm trying to make it out at least 2 or 3 weekends throughout the run to try and be able to get as much done as I can and hopefully meet up and hang out with you guys. Hey, see? FNAF is good. You get people who are going for the first time because of it. So, you know, I'll take that as a small W for now. But yeah, I can't imagine the crazy waits for FNAF. That's gonna be nuts. Hey, welcome, Josh. Remember? I was wondering where you were. It's like, he said he was gonna be here. It's okay. We're too cool, 5U. We're just kind of, I don't know, we're not really talking about anything in particular. We're just spitballing what's going on and what we might see. Josh, do you have any insight into Graveyard toys or whatever other originals have yet to be announced that probably will be in the next week? I'm sure you saw tons as a house ops. You know, when the worst I ever saw was in Dollhouse of the Damned. Never worked the event. Technically, I did Q build, but I never worked as a house ops. But man, I saw there was this one group in Dollhouse of the Damned, and they were beating up every actor they could get. Was trying to get every ops. They had OPD waiting for them at the exit. It's just, I don't understand why you would go to these events to act like that.
Freddy vs. Jason was the worst one that I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all got kicked out of line because the cops had to kick so many people out of the house.
Yeah. That sounds like fun. What's up? Yeah, I appreciate it, Will. I'm just trying to make the world a little bit of a better place however I can. And the only way I know how to do that is by being a good person and sharing content with you guys. And hopefully, in some small way, that makes your life better. And if I've accomplished that, then I've accomplished the goals of this channel. For the most part. I also want to see a lot of haunts, but mainly it's because I want to make a channel for the people like you guys, or people who would be looking for this type of stuff that wouldn't exist if I wasn't making countdowns that I would never finish. Anyways, what? I didn't say that. Insider news, Graveyard is going to be the best. Insider news, Josh, Billie Eilish's Dollhouse of the Damned 2 is going to be the best. Next. Is FNAF the soundstage where Poltergeist was? If it's rumored, it's 23B, according to the map. So no, Poltergeist was 25, which was Dave's school, which I thought we got a permit. Oh, that's Terrifier. It has 25 on it. 23B would be, hi, Chino. Monstrose from last year, I believe, because I think A is towards 24, B is towards 22.
Yes.
And then WWE would be on the other side where whatever it was last year. And I'm also excited about El Artista in Soundstage 22. I talked about Legendary Truth Wind Out of State earlier. That's where that haunt was. Dead End was also in a soundstage, but it kind of felt like it was in 20 or 21. It was on one of the weird ones, but it felt like it was in 22. All I see is Josh saying, "Brother, you are too young for those strippers." When you do the scares get you? It depends, Spooky. It depends on if the scares get me. Sometimes they do. Everybody say hi to Chino that's being drug up here.
He was hanging from your HHN poster.
Yeah, sounds about right. That tracks. He bit me earlier when I tried to pick him up, so. Hi, you're the little angry one. He's the angriest, but he's the biggest baby. But yes, sometimes the scares get me. Do I know what to look for most of the time? Yeah, but still there's that moment of anticipation where it's like, you know, the jump scare is going to happen, but you don't exactly know when it's going to happen. And that... Oh, Jesus, he's going to kill me. Don't put him on me. Hi, baby. But you don't know when that moment's going to come. And also, there's stuff I haven't seen. I haven't seen every single scare tactic in the world. And normally, if I get distracted by something cool, like a facade or some really big set piece or like some type of effect, that lowers my guard enough to the point where I'm like, oh crap, I forgot I was in a haunted house. Hi, buddy, where'd you come from? I was too busy soaking up all the eye candy. Aaron, normally 22 can houses its own haunts. I think it's because they can also utilize part of it for like a slightly larger break space if necessary. But I know because I was doing a lot of research on the monsters for the countdown. But I know back in the day, in like the 90s, they would have two Universal Monsters haunts in it each year. And it's kind of at that weird point where it's like just big enough for one, or could fit two, but also could fit one, but maybe not. Josh, I feel like I get 2 or 3 really good jumps in an event. Yeah, I feel like that's fair. Let me see. Josh, you can help me on this. If I were to think back to last year, how many good jumps did I get throughout the event overall? I think I definitely probably got 2 in Insidious. I can't remember where, but I know Insidious got me a few times, and not in the mannequin rooms. The mannequin rooms were meh. But Lipstick Face Demon dropping down was good. I think Ghostbusters actually got me too, right out in the first Frozen Empire dinner room scene with the person right around the corner there. That was a good black transition, like black wall transition. Monstrous, I don't recall any. What was Soundstage 22? Why am I such a visual learner? Why can't I remember this stuff without looking at everything? Ugh. I hate being old. I'm 30 now. My memory's shot. Okay, what else was there last year? Goblin's Feast, No, Goblin's Feast didn't get me at all. I got a few good scares in the triple mode at the end of the run, but nothing like jump. Slaughter Cinema, Night of the Living Clowns Night of the Undead Clowns got me once. So we're at like, what, 3-ish? 3 or 4? And I think A Quiet Place's cold open was probably the last of what they were. Because I didn't get anything in Museum, didn't get anything in Monsters. But again, it's, do you go to horror stuff, or do you immerse yourself in horror for the scares, or just because you like the atmosphere, you know? And I've never really been scared. I just like looking at stuff. Dude, triple scare at the end of Darkest Deal? Darkest Deal was so good. Triple scare at the end, triple scare in the graveyard, like, bonkers haunt. The fact that it was so short and had that many incredible scares, like, wild. To be fair, Josh, you have to be a pretty big dude not to get scared at HHN. Yeah, they always go for you. They go for you and they go for my mom when we're at events.
They look so sad, but I just normally laugh, smile, wave, or stare back at them.
Mom does too. But yeah, I still get scared, especially when I'm going to events that aren't HHN. Not Scary Farm, yeah, give or take, because it kind of depends on the cast you get and how dedicated the actors are at that point in time. But like something like Reign of Terror, which I'm hopefully going to make a video out of, or mention in a video before the end of summer. I'm planning on at least. Things like that where it's a different type of cadence and a different type of environment and it's not the same beats that I'm used to at HHN, then my guard's definitely down a little bit more and I am more jumpy. Slaughter Cinema Pirate Eye. I feel that. That happened to me. Oh, what was it? What haunt did I get absolutely soaked in and I was pissed off?
I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember what it was. Oh, I think there was two. I remember that happened to me at Nevermore, I want to say, at Hallow Scream in Tampa on... But this was before I met you. This was like...
No, I remember that water feature.
Oh, yeah. I think this was 2011. 2011 or 2012. It might have actually been 2011 because I think it was the same year as Lady Luck. I'm going to look it up now. But I was literally... This was like within the first third of the haunt and I got sprayed in the eye and I was pissed off. And then I got sprayed in the next scene right after that. And 3 minutes later, after walking through this house, I still had water dripping off of me. Oh, so mad. Somewhere John Murdy is laughing at us for complaining about water effects. Was it really? Okay, it was 2011 to 2013. Okay. I was about to say, I knew it was there in 2011.
I feel like there was one recently, though.
Nightingale's Nowhere to Hide. Ooh. That would be interesting. Maybe we'll get Nightingales. Well, I'm hoping El Artista maybe mentions Nightingales. Maybe in a mural, maybe in something. But I'm hoping that there's a little sly nod to that. Oh, yep, Josh, you got Slimer in Hollywood. That's right.
Slimer got me the one time in Hollywood.
I remember that. Well, I want to say I'm going to wrap it up because I'm still probably have plenty to talk about. But we've been talking about HHN and we've been talking about speculation and whatnot for a little while. So what do y'all think about watching a trailer for some new projects? Or y'all just want to keep talking about what we might see at HHN? I'm down for either, but you know, I've got a trailer with some special announcements all queued up, so light me up in the chat if that's what y'all want to see. Skull and Spooky, as if Fast and Furious needed another reason to be bad. Josh, I didn't see a please. But maybe. I'll think about it. Trey, okay, here we go.
I can find a cat.
Okay, apparently we're gonna go looking for a cat. This is where I would normally make an inappropriate sex joke, but I have to be, or I'm trying to keep this channel somewhat family friendly. I say as we talk about dissecting gore and gross things. Alright. It's coming, stand by. We're gonna see if there's a cat that gets brought up so this doesn't interrupt the middle of that doesn't interrupt the middle of the trailer and I have to try and talk over everything. Also, I tested this like 3 times and the audio worked. So I swear to God, if the audio is not playing, I'm gonna do things that I shouldn't say on stream. All right.
Okay. The Queen of No Bones, the Princess of Mayhem, the screamiest of screams, Nixie. With a really big fat tummy.
Here, Nixie, you wanna start the trailer? Press that button right there. You got it? You got Mrs. No Bones. Yay!
Gritty, disgusting, wretched.
Now I shut up. Look, guys, I turned myself into a desk.
Nightingales, Scolders, Yeti, theme park vloggers. The jump scares are effectively
Please
all
let
the
me know
same.
if there's no audio
There's
so I can
definitely been
cry.
a few that have made me feel like I was this guy. Ah, the hills are alive with the sound of music. When you rely on only one herald for misdirection, it feels choreographed. It all serves to make that pivotal scare that much more effective. Or maybe even a big stinky. This? Oh, you guys know what
Pinhead
this is.
Larry cameo.
This is the HHN countdown. To my glorious Billionaire channel members, join me a week before the
Hey, I know
public
that
release
guy.
of each episode to get a private viewing party and also take a peek behind the scenes or ask any questions about the series.
I would also, actually, I'm gonna go to this one. I would also like it to be known that I made that in about 30 minutes today because I got excited about the fact that I might be able to do it. And I just grabbed a bunch of random clips that I thought were funny throughout the series and edited them together. You could hear my raw camera audio when I was on screen. That's how bad that is. But yes, countdown, release dates, let's go. Yep, Skull and Spooky by September 4th, there will be full rankings. That's right. So, July 3rd, which is next Thursday, will be the public release of the first 2 episodes because I want to prove to you that things are done. 2 episodes, not just one, that you kind of already seen. But as stated, any channel members, we're going to be doing a live stream a week early, so you guys will be able to get to see the product. And I'm probably going to be doing some editing in those streams as well. The first one is going to be this Thursday, which is what, the 26th? 3 days from now, will be the first member stream as the preview for... Hi, Pixie. As the preview for that. Don't kill me. Y'all can join for as low as 99 cents if you like. Of course, I appreciate any and all support that is given in any fashion, and I do not expect y'all to give me money, because life is expensive, but anything that comes from this channel is going to end up going towards getting a better computer, so I can make better content, and I can crank it out quicker, and not be stuck with this cranky whatever. Skull and Spooky, I can tell you that's incorrect. But Halloween did move up in the rankings. I will say that much. Halloween 2022 did move up. Vloggers of the Damned. It's kind of like Graveyard Games, right? Or like an evolution of the cell phone stuff from that one. But yes, back to the countdown. Every week will be some sort of activity with the countdown starting from this Thursday. If there's not a members stream to preview the upcoming episode and look at some behind the scenes stuff and edit probably the titles for the next episode, it'll be the public release for the other section. So we are... Hi. Yes, you have been so needy these last 3 days. All right. How about this? The first 3 people to comment a house or a haunt in the comments or in the chat, I will tell you what position it is in the countdown. First 3, go. Otherwise, I'm not going to spoil anything else. Yeah, I wonder how many people have watched my channel and just immediately tuned out because I slammed Halloween 2022. I do not like that haunt. Yeah, I know. I'm old Skull and Spooky. All right, okay, we'll go for everyone. Josh, right now Puppet Theater sits at number 30. Scarecrow sits at number 18. This is out of 125, I should add. Seeds of Extinction currently has been knocked out of the top 10 and is sitting at number 14 now. Dead Man's Pier, I don't have an answer for you yet, Will. It's not going to be in the top 10, but I have to see how some things play as I get a little further on in the series to see where I'm going to end it up. I think it's comfortably in the top 30. I just don't know where in the top 30. Dueling Dragons is actually finishing up today and went back and did some editing on it, and that is at number 67. About, is that the halfway? Almost exact. Well, I guess you can't really have a halfway with 125, but pretty much exactly, or close to. Apparently, my stream is gone. Nothing is on. Everything looks fine on my end.
It's buffering, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Everything's fine on my end.
It's coming back.
Oh, is it coming back? Okay.
Back.
Maybe we just lost internet or something for a second.
Possible with this heat.
I was gonna say, this screen has said excellent connection the entire time, which I'm surprised about. So, for once, everything seems to have gone smoothly. Can I say my hype list so far? Absolutely. I think number one, undoubtedly El Artista, just because it reminds me of so many old school HHN hunts that made me fall in love with the event, that I feel like I'm going to be reliving the glory days in a sense, and I hope I don't set myself up for disappointment. Hatchet and Chains, because I'm curious to see how it's going to evolve on these failed concepts, and it's just a good period atmospheric piece. Jason is number 3 because, again, I want a good old slasher haunt. I want something that's just jump scares and gore. That sounds great to me, and I want to turn my brain off haunt where I don't have to be constantly like, oh, that's so cool, look at that. Like, I just want jump scares. But again, I'm worried is how much of Jason can you pull from with the lawsuits? Can you not eat my headrest, princess? Whatever. How repetitive does it get if you're just focusing on the cabin in the woods and the outdoorsy stuff? Do you try and force too much fan service into it? Does it lose that iconic score because of the lawsuits and all that? Those are things that I don't know yet. But at the very least, I'm excited for a slasher haunt. Number 4, Fallout. There's always that one IP each year. Normally it's Stranger Things that I wouldn't say I'm not excited for, but it's just, I'm glad it's at the event, but I am not really excited or upset. Like, it's just, it sounds weird to say, but it's just there. Like, I know I'm going to go through Fallout. I'm probably going to enjoy it, but there's not anything that really intrigues me about it in the same way that I'm intrigued about how the others will get pulled off. And I guess technically, if you want to count Five Nights at Freddy's, even though it hasn't been officially announced, that's at the bottom of my list just for the same type of reasons. It's big budget IPs normally don't fare so well. It could be good for some jump scares, but you've got bulky costumes. You've got a lot of, theatrical scenes, I guess. You got a lot of cinematic quality to it. So I have to wonder, how do you do that in a haunted house? How do you make that so jump scary? Or more than just jump scares? I need to learn how to talk today, apparently. Yeah, maybe like Campground Kills. I agree, spooky. I can see that. I hope they expand on what was there, though. I hope they make it more immersive and bigger. Tomb of the Ancients is super high, Aaron. I think it is... I have to go back to my list. It's 26, I think? Yeah, 26 for Tomb of the Ancients. Oh, so good. You know what? I don't need Bioshock at HHN. Would I like to see it? Yes, I would be very happy. But at the same time, if it never comes to HHN, I can never be disappointed if it doesn't live up to my expectations. So, win-win-win either way. Ow, stop. Don't bite my leg. Yeah, I'm excited for FNAF. I'm excited to see how it plays out. Just if we're talking about things that would make me rush to the event versus, well, I'm going to be there opening night anyways, but if I was not able to attend opening night, FNAF would not convince me to be there opening night. Other haunts like El Artista or Hatchet and Chains, maybe, those would be able to convince me. Okay. As stated at the beginning of this stream, I have been up on this computer for 15 hours at this point. So, considering the fact that we've got probably 3 to 4 more announcements this week, I think we are going to call it for today. And let's plan right now on Sunday being another public stream. Man, I'm going to do a lot of streaming this week. Let's plan right now for Friday night. We'll do something. And discuss the new announcements, and I'll be a little more prepared because I won't have been working on the countdown for 13 hours before starting the stream. There's one other thing I was going to add. Oh, and Thursday, channel members, first 2 episodes of the countdown, plus editing titles for episode number 3. I'll make a post about it later on if y'all want to let me know what time works best. Otherwise, it's probably going to be something like this, like 6 or 7 o'clock-ish. Probably 7 o'clock my time. And theoretically, dude, yeah, no Universal Monster Hunt this year. In my research, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but it doesn't seem like most series make it past 5. 5 seems to be the magic number for the most part. Walking Dead had 5 haunts. Blumhouse is probably going to have 5 haunts eventually. Horrors of Blumhouse. Yes, Josh, I will be as Pacific time friendly as I can be. Ow. All right, well, I guess I'm going to bring the scaredy cat on camera because she's being a little nutsack. That is the politically correct term. Stop. Can you stop eating all of my equipment? Oh my god, you're too dark to be on screen. This is the face of someone who is just chewing on my microphone cord. Yeah, she thinks she's so happy. Oh, so it's okay when you're needy and scream at me all day, but when I want to be needy and get pets from you, it's a terrible thing? Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I think we got out of Universal Monsters what we were going to get out of Universal Monsters. I think there was maybe some more avenues they could have explored, but I'm happy with where we're at. Like, come on, guys. The Mummy was in, what, 3 of them? Or there was a Mummy section in 3 of them, and they literally, all 3 had the same hallway. In 2019, Legends Collide and Eternal Bloodlines. Like, the Egyptian section was essentially the same in each of those. Like, give me some new ideas. Like, show me something exciting. But with that, I think I am going to go do something. Maybe we'll get Creature from the Black Lagoon one day. Technically, Creature from the Black Lagoon got murdered in Bride of Frankenstein Lives, so that's probably why we never got him. They gave themselves an out 5 years ago in case they never wanted to bring it back. But yes, Nixie is a princess. Tomorrow, or Friday, we'll be back with more Scaredy Cats, more HHN news, maybe some other surprises. I don't know yet. We'll see how the next 72-ish hours go, and lots more Scaredy Cats. But with that, I appreciate you guys all so much for sticking around. I promise things are going to get better from here. As like I said, I've been working so much to try and get this content done. I have a crappy computer. I have a short attention span. I've been pushing through a lot to try and make my life better. Nixie, what are you doing? Children. But I've been doing a lot to really try and make this channel a success and get things out for you guys. So, more consistent streaming, all this stuff. We just got to get through the countdown first. And we're going to be through with the countdown by the time HHN starts. Once we're done with that, no more big series, no more 7-part videos, just whatever comes off the top of my head, and A lot more. I'm also hoping to get a few other surprise videos out before HHN starts, between the countdown, but I'm not going to promise anything because I want to get this done for me. I want to get this done for you guys, and I want to get to HHN on Labor Day weekend and say, I have nothing to do but have fun with my friends, get some good footage, and start off the next quote-unquote year of my life on the right foot. Josh, go away. I'll beat you up. For legal reasons, that was a joke. But I am going to go potty and head off. I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for standing by and showing up and hanging out with me.